Friends, in today's video, we will discuss which vegetables you can plant and grow right now during the months of August and September. I will share information with you regarding about 35 to 40 vegetables suitable for planting in August and September. Crops that you can cultivate with great ease. This will be a comprehensive, detailed guide, ensuring that even new gardeners, or first-time viewers looking to grow vegetables for the very first time, gain a complete understanding of the process. How to plant each specific vegetable, which seeds can be sown directly, and for which crops you need to prepare seedlings separately before transplanting them. I will also cover essential details such as the ideal pot size for planting, the approximate time required from planting to the start of harvesting, and key precautions you should keep in mind while planting. So, without further ado, let's begin the video. Friends, the very first vegetable you can plant right now is the tomato. To grow tomatoes, you must first prepare seedlings, essentially creating a nursery, before transplanting them to their final location. Tomato seedlings typically become ready for transplanting after approximately 25 days. Once the seedlings are ready, if you intend to grow them in pots or grow bags, you should select a container with a minimum size of 12 inches. Using a larger pot would be even more beneficial. After planting, you can expect to begin harvesting tomatoes approximately 70 to 75 days later. You will find numerous varieties of tomatoes available, including seeds that possess disease-resistant properties. I will provide links to these resources in the description below. The next vegetable you can plant at this time is Shimla mirch, also known as capsicum or bell pepper. Friends, much like tomatoes, growing capsicum requires you to first prepare seedlings, establishing a nursery by sowing the seeds, before transplanting them. The nursery stage for capsicum takes a bit longer to complete. You will need at least 35 to. It will take about 40 days for the nursery to be ready. Once the nursery is prepared, if you intend to grow the plants in pots or grow bags, ensure that the container size is at least 10 inches. A 12 or 14-inch pot would be perfect for this purpose. Harvesting of bell peppers typically begins approximately 40 to 45 days after planting. Furthermore, if you plant bell peppers now, these same plants will continue to thrive and produce a harvest throughout the winter season. The next vegetable you can plant right now is lauki, bottle gourd. You will find numerous varieties of bottle gourd available, ranging from the long, cylindrical type to the round variety. Seeds are also available in a wide range, from traditional desi varieties to various hybrids. To plant bottle gourd, you can sow the seeds directly into the soil or a pot. Alternatively, if you prefer, you can first raise seedlings separately in a nursery and then transplant them. Bottle gourd seedlings are typically ready for transplanting within 20 to 25 days. When growing bottle gourd, it is crucial to ensure that you use the largest possible pot or grow bag. Ideally, a container of at least 18 to 20 inches, as this is essential for the plant to produce an abundant yield of fruit. If you opt for a hybrid variety of bottle gourd, fruiting will commence just 40 to 45 days after planting, and you can expect to begin harvesting within 60 to 65 days. The next vegetable you can plant and grow at this time is bindi, okra. Friends, okra is a vegetable that grows very easily and requires minimal care. You can grow okra by sowing the seeds directly into the soil or a pot. While it is possible to raise seedlings separately in a nursery first, it is not strictly necessary for growing okra. If you are planting a single okra plant, use a pot or grow bag with a diameter of 10 inches. However, if you are using a wider container, you can accommodate 3 to 4 plants, or adjust the number of plants according to the specific dimensions of the container. You can also grow these plants from seeds. Okra plants in particular begin to bear fruit very quickly. Typically, you can start harvesting from them just 35 to 40 days after planting. You can also plant snake gourd, known locally as chichinda, as well as ridge gourd, *nenua*. The method for cultivating all three of these vegetables is exactly the same. You can sow their seeds directly into the soil or into pots to grow them. Alternatively, if you prefer, you can first raise separate seedlings and then transplant them. Compared to the summer season, these plants tend to start bearing fruit much faster during the monsoon season. Therefore, if you haven't sown their seeds yet, you still have time to do so. You can continue planting them throughout the entire month of August. Flowering and fruiting will continue until mid-October or November. While flowering and fruiting do occur during the winter months as well, the size of the fruit tends to be smaller, and the plants do not grow quite as vigorously or healthily. To grow any of these three vegetables, you should select a pot or grow bag with dimensions of 15 by 15 inches or 16 by 16 inches. The next vegetable you can plant right now is spinach. Pollock asterisk. Spinach is a leafy green vegetable that can be grown quite easily throughout the year with just a little bit of care. For instance, if you are growing spinach during the monsoon season, it is crucial to ensure that the drainage holes in your pots or grow bags remain completely clear so that water does not stagnate around the plant's roots, and to grow it, regarding the size of the pot or grow bag, you can essentially grow this crop in any size container, provided that it has a minimum depth of 5 to 6 inches. Once the spinach is planted, harvesting can begin approximately 25 days later. Furthermore, after a single planting, you can easily obtain at least 3 to 4 harvests from the same crop. The next vegetable you can plant right now is murchi, that is, chilies. Friends, much like eggplants, you will find a wide variety of chili cultivars available, including those in different colors. This means that, in addition to the standard green chilies, you can also find ornamental varieties. Just as with eggplants and tomatoes, you will first need to prepare seedlings separately before planting them out. Chili seedlings typically take 30 to 35 days to mature, after which they are ready for transplanting. When transplanting chili plants, aim for a pot or grow bag with a minimum size of 10 inches. A 12-inch container is considered the standard size. Harvesting of chilies usually begins within 30 days of transplanting the seedlings. The next vegetable you can plant at this time is baingan, also known as eggplant or brinjal. Friends, you will discover a vast array of eggplant varieties, featuring different colors and shapes, from round eggplants to long ones, as well as thorny varieties, Berta eggplants, and many others. They are available in every color imaginable: white, black, blue, and green, so you can choose to plant whichever variety appeals to you most. However, to grow eggplants, you must first prepare seedlings from seeds, much like you would for tomatoes, by establishing a nursery. These seedlings must then be transplanted into their final containers. An eggplant nursery typically takes about 30 days to mature. Once the seedlings are ready, if you intend to grow them in a pot or grow bag, ensure the container has a minimum size of 14 inches. Harvesting of eggplants typically begins approximately 60 to 65 days after planting, though it may sometimes take up to 70 days. Harvesting will soon begin. Once you plant an eggplant sapling and provide it with proper care, it will continue to yield a bountiful harvest for years, typically for at least 2 to 3 years. The next vegetable you can plant right now is the pumpkin. Friends, you can either sow pumpkin seeds directly into the soil or, if you prefer, raise saplings separately and then transplant them. Much like bottle gourd, these plants become ready for transplanting in just 20 to 25 days. You can transplant them once the third and fourth leaves have emerged. If you wish to obtain a greater abundance of fruits and flowers from your pumpkin plant, grow it in the largest pot or grow bag available to you. Ideally, the container should measure at least 18 by 18 inches or 20 by 20 inches. Harvesting typically begins approximately 90 to 100 days after planting the pumpkin seeds. The next vegetable you can plant at this time is the long bean, also known as lobia. Friends, long beans are a low-maintenance plant that requires very little care to grow. Therefore, if you are just starting out in gardening, this is a vegetable you should definitely include in your garden. They grow very easily in any type of soil, and you do not even need a very large pot or grow bag for them. They will thrive quite easily in a container measuring just 10 to 12 inches. These plants grow as creepers, much like a money plant, climbing upwards as they grow. Therefore, you will need to provide them with support using a bush, a wooden stake, or a similar structure. Aside from this, they require no other special care. Harvesting typically begins approximately 55 to 60 days after planting. Next, you can plant bitter gourd, Karela**, right now. You can either sow the bitter gourd seeds directly into the soil or raise saplings separately and then transplant them. Bitter gourd seeds tend to take a little longer to germinate. So, if you are looking for quicker germination, I have shared a detailed video on this topic. I will place the link in the I button above or on the end screen, so feel free to check out the video if you wish. By following that method, your bitter gourd seeds will germinate in just 3 to 4 days. To grow bitter gourd, ensure that the size of your pot or grow bag is at least 14 inches. 16 inches would be perfect. Harvesting typically begins 60 to 65 days after planting. Among vining vegetables, the bitter gourd is arguably the easiest to grow and is a very hardy plant. Meaning, if your other vines aren't thriving during the rainy season, you can confidently plant bitter gourd, as there is a very low chance of it failing. Next, regarding root vegetables, you can currently plant radishes. You will find several varieties of radishes available, such as white radishes and red radishes. Within the red variety, you can find both round radishes and long radishes. Additionally, there is a specific radish variety that features a bicolor mix, half red and half white, which is also readily available. For the long varieties, whether white or red, ensure the depth of your pot is at least 10 to 12 inches. For growing the round varieties, the depth of the pot or grow bag should be at least 6 to 7 inches. There is no need to prepare separate seedlings for these. Simply sow the seeds directly. You can expect to start harvesting the long radishes within 35 to 40 days, whereas if you plant the round varieties, you can begin harvesting in just 25 to 30 days. In addition to red, the round radish varieties are also available in white and black colors. If you require seeds for any of these three, I will include the link in the description below. Next, you can also plant beans, specifically French beans or Phalean pods. Right now, you can grow them by sowing the seeds directly into the soil or a pot. Alternatively, if you prefer, you can raise seedlings separately and then transplant them. For a single plant, aim to use a pot of at least 7 to 8 inches in size. However, if you are using a wide container, you can comfortably plant and grow 2 to 3 plants within it. Beans are a vegetable that grows very easily and rapidly. Typically, you can begin harvesting them approximately 45 days after planting. Regarding varieties, you can plant standard French beans right now, or you can opt for climbing beans. When growing climbing beans, be careful not to raise seedlings separately for transplanting. Instead, sow them directly. For a single climbing bean plant, use a pot measuring 10 to 12 inches. If you are using a wide container, you can plant at least 3 to 4 plants within it. If you are growing a single plant in a pot, try to keep 4 to 5 pots grouped together in one spot. This facilitates better pollination, resulting in a higher yield of kernels on the corn cobs. After planting corn, the time required for harvesting depends on the specific variety. Typically, harvesting begins between 70 and 90 days, though some varieties may take as long as 100 to 110 days. The next vegetable you can plant right now is cauliflower. Full gobi asterisk. Friends, you can currently plant early maturing varieties of cauliflower, or you can opt for standard varieties. The early maturing varieties will allow you to begin harvesting sooner, and they also thrive exceptionally well during the winter season. However, to grow cauliflower you must first raise seedlings, that is, prepare a nursery, separately and then transplant them. Cauliflower seedlings are typically ready for transplanting within 25 to 30 days. For growing a single plant, ensure the pot or grow bag you use is at least 12 inches in size. You can start harvesting cauliflower approximately 80 to 90 days after planting. The next topic is cucumbers. You can plant these by sowing the seeds directly into soil, pots, or grow bags. Alternatively, you can prepare seedlings separately and then transplant them. Cucumber seedlings are ready for transplanting in just 15 to 20 days. To grow cucumbers, ensure the pots or grow bags you use measure at least 14 by 14 inches. The cucumber is one of the fastest growing vegetables. Harvesting can begin just 45 days after planting. You can plant cucumbers right now during the rainy season, and they also yield a good harvest during the winter months. Next, you can plant coriander, dhania. To grow coriander during the monsoon season, ensure the soil is extremely well drained so that rainwater does not stagnate around the roots but instead drains out of the pot or grow bag with ease. Harvesting of coriander typically begins 25 to 30 days after planting. Once planted, you can easily harvest from the same crop 4 to 5 times. Next, you can plant and grow red and green leafy greens, also known as lalbaji and haribaji, or amaranth/cholai. Right now, both of these leafy vegetables are very easy to grow and do not require deep containers. They thrive in pots or grow bags that are at least 4 to 5 inches deep. You can begin harvesting these greens approximately 20 days after planting. If you harvest by cutting the leaves from the top rather than uprooting the entire plant, you can easily obtain 5 to 6 harvests from a single planting. Finally, you can also plant and grow cabbage right now. Friends, much like cauliflower, you will first need to prepare seedlings or a nursery for the cabbage plants. Similar to cauliflower, the cabbage nursery takes approximately 30 days to be ready for transplanting. For a single cabbage plant, if you use a pot or grow bag with a diameter of 14 inches, you will achieve a larger head size. Harvesting typically begins 90 to 100 days after planting the cabbage. Additionally, among root vegetables, you can plant turmeric. I have already shared a video with comprehensive updates on how to plant turmeric. You are welcome to check it out. To plant turmeric, you must use its roots, specifically raw turmeric rhizomes. Once planted, harvesting can commence after about 7 to 8 months. Next, alongside turmeric, you can also plant ginger. Ginger, too, must be planted using its roots. That is, by using the raw ginger rhizomes available in the market. To plant ginger, ensure the soil is extremely light and loose. This allows for a more abundant yield of ginger rhizomes. Harvesting typically takes place 8 to 9 months after planting. Furthermore, among root vegetables, you can currently plant arbai, also known as taro root. To plant arbai, you will need its tubers. You can purchase these tubers from the market and grow them. These plants can even be successfully grown in a completely shaded environment. Harvesting of arbai usually begins approximately 5 months after planting. Both the roots, tubers, and the leaves of the arbai plant are edible, with the leaves often used to prepare dishes such as fritters, *pakoras*. I have already shared a detailed video on how to grow arbai, and I will be sharing another video on this topic very soon. Among root vegetables, there is one more vegetable you can plant right now, which is jimicand, also known as elephant foot yam, is an incredibly nutritious vegetable. Therefore, you should definitely consider planting it. Like potatoes, it is propagated using its tuber, underground stem. The larger the tuber you use for planting, the more abundant your subsequent harvest will be. For instance, if you plant a tuber weighing half a kilogram, you can expect to harvest approximately 2.5 to 3 kilograms of yam later on. While using smaller tubers will result in a proportionally smaller harvest, you will still get a decent yield. Moreover, this is a vegetable that grows with minimal effort and requires very little care. Once planted, you can essentially set it and forget it. After about 7 to 8 months, you can return to harvest it. When preparing the soil, ensure it has a high sand content so that water does not stagnate in the pot or grow bag. You can propagate mint, pudina, using either seeds or cuttings. While growing from seeds can be time-consuming, and sometimes the seeds may not even germinate, the best and most reliable method is to grow it from cuttings. You can easily purchase mint cuttings from the market and plant them to grow your own supply. I have several detailed videos regarding mint cultivation uploaded on my channel. Feel free to check them out if you are interested. Next, you can also plant papaya right now. To grow papaya, you can either start by raising seedlings from seeds yourself or purchase ready-to-plant saplings from a nursery for transplanting. If you are growing papaya in pots or grow bags, ensure they are at least 18 by 18 inches in size. You can also plant morina sojan at this time. Morina can be grown from seeds, or if you can procure cuttings, that is another viable option. To grow it from cuttings, you will need to select a relatively thick stem. Cuttings root very easily during the rainy season. Growing morina from cuttings has the advantage of initiating flowering and fruiting much sooner compared to growing it from seeds. It grows exceptionally well and at a very rapid pace. Next, you can also plant and grow Malabar spinach, sometimes referred to simply as sog. Malabar spinach can be grown right now either from cuttings, or you can raise a sapling from its seeds and then plant it out. It grows very easily using either of these methods. I will include a link for this in the description below. Next, you can also plant cluster beans, commonly known as guarfeli. You can sow cluster bean seeds directly into the soil or a pot, or you can raise seedlings separately and then transplant them. The hybrid varieties of cluster beans tend to bear fruit a bit sooner, whereas the indigenous *desi*, varieties take a little longer to produce fruit. Next, friends, if you wish to plant some herbal varieties, you can sow basil seeds. This is a variety of tulsi, holy basil. Specifically the Italian basil variety, which is very easy to plant and grow. Basil grows with remarkable ease. Its seeds typically sprout and emerge from the soil within just 3 to 4 days. During the rainy season, the seeds germinate particularly easily, and the plants grow very rapidly. This means you can start harvesting from them within just 30 days, and the more you prune or cut the plant, the more abundant your harvest will be. Next, you can also plant arhar, pigeon pea. You should definitely include arhar in your garden because it produces an abundance of flowers, blooming in vast quantities, which serve to attract a large number of bees and other pollinators to your garden. Arhar grows exceptionally well from the onset of the rainy season right through the cooler months, specifically until about December, so you can sow its seeds and grow it at any time during this period. If you are growing a single plant for home consumption, a 12-inch pot would be suitable. You can also grow parwal, pointed gourd. To grow parwal, you can certainly use seeds. However, if you can obtain saplings raised from root cuttings, that is an even better option. Next, you can also plant curry leaf, *cutty pata*, right now. However, if you are planting curry leaf during the rainy season, if you are growing them, you will need to exercise a little extra care, as excessive watering can cause these plants to deteriorate very quickly. Next, you can also plant tinda, Indian round gourd, right now. They tend to grow very well throughout the entire monsoon season. So, you can comfortably sow their seeds anytime, even up until around August 10th, and they will continue to thrive until October. Next, friends, if you wish, you can also plant mung, the variety of green gram used for mung dal. These too will grow very easily at this time. Furthermore, you can plant soybeans right now. If you happen to have soybean seeds at home, you can simply use those to plant and grow them. They sprout very easily and grow in a manner quite similar to beans. They are, in fact, very simple to cultivate. You can also sow kidney bean, *rajma*, seeds at this time. Like other beans, they will grow just as you would plant French beans. Kidney beans come in both bush varieties and vining varieties, so you can choose to plant whichever type you prefer. Next, you can also plant groundnuts, commonly known as peanuts. These are widely cultivated during the monsoon season. You can even try planting the peanuts you have at home. Provided the seeds aren't too old, they should germinate successfully. Finally, you can also plant beetroot, *chicander*, at this time. There is no need to prepare separate seedlings for beetroot. You can simply sow the seeds directly into a pot or a grow bag. The pot or grow bag you use should have a minimum depth of 7 to 8 inches. Additionally, you can currently grow ash gourd, also known as petha. These thrive exceptionally well not only during the summer but also throughout the rainy season. You can also plant and grow sweet potatoes right now. For sweet potatoes, if you can obtain stem cuttings, you can propagate them that way. Alternatively, you can grow them directly from the tubers. So, friends, these were about 35 to 40 different vegetables that you can very easily plant and grow at this time. If you wish to purchase high-quality seeds for these vegetables, I will include the links in the description below. Since I provided such detailed information, this video turned out to be a bit long. I hope you enjoyed today's video and found this information useful. If you liked this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you are new to the channel, please subscribe. Finally, thanks for watching.